Hi there everyone, welcome back to Cody's Lab. So this is a glass box here. It's the same type of thing that I've seen built into like window walls where they make an entire wall out of these so that light can pass through the inside of a building. They look very nice, but I want to know what would happen if each of these was its own little biosphere. I mean, the empty space in there, it's there because of insulation properties, but I want to know what would happen if you put some life forms in there and like made of these into their own little world. Wouldn't that look cool to have an entire wall made of little terrariums? Well, this is my first one that I'm starting with. You can see little shrimp swimming around in the water. And those are brine shrimp. And they're feeding off of the algae that is growing in there alongside them. Isn't that cool? Let's get this down off of here so I can show you how this has been sealed. Careful not to drop it. So I drilled a hole in the glass, I put my salt water, algae starter, and all my brine shrimp eggs inside here, and then I plugged it with a cork and then put some acrylic resin on top of the cork. This should completely seal it from the outside environment, which means this tank is completely self-sustained. I sealed this on the 12th of January, which means this has been going for roughly 20 days at the time of recording. And so far so good. The real question is going to be whether or not these shrimp can live in here indefinitely. In order to do that, they're going to have to be able to reproduce and have a sustainable population. My guess is that this is a little bit too small for that, but I have hopes for it. It should theoretically be possible. I chose the brine shrimp because they're very small and require very little resources, and so I could have quite a large number of them in here without them being overcrowded. Also, I chose brine shrimp because the salt water is difficult to freeze. It'd suck to have this inside of a wall and have the water inside there freeze and break the glass and then make a mess. This is almost 5% salt, so the freezing temperature is significantly reduced. Still possible to freeze though, so it might be a better idea to use like a moss or something that doesn't have all this water. But I still love watching little shrimp swim around. What I think is really cool about this is since it is self-contained, the atmosphere out here really doesn't matter to it anymore. In fact, it could be a vacuum, which means this thing could actually live out in space, assuming the glass was strong enough to handle the pressure. Because the internal pressure in here is about 12 psi. I'm not sure if the glass can handle that. It might just break it. But if it could, you could actually put it into an orbit around the sun at a distance that would keep the brine shrimp at a nice cozy temperature. It could last for millions of years. Well, assuming it was never struck by a micrometeor that destroyed the glass or the radiation just sterilized it. Anyway, enough of that. I'm going to do another update on this in a little while, maybe a few months from now when the brine shrimp have gone through their life cycle and hopefully have reproduced. And if so, then heck, I'll build 100 more of these. Build a wall of windows. I think that'd be awesome. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you then.